Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. My name is Laura Peterson. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I've got the stats here in regards to what's going on in the market and everything. And last week, obviously, was the end of the month. And so as a result of that, the number of homes that were sold went up, which is typical for the end of the month. 530 last week versus 480 the week before. So just 50 more. So not a whole lot more. The median price was at 450, which was up a little bit, 4% from the week before, which it was down 4% last week. So 450 might be our new norm in regards to where we're at. And basically the inventory is still going up. It went up by 71. So breaking that down, of that 530 houses, 37 of them were under 250, 29, 250 to 300. So, when I started doing these stats, which I'm not sure how many years ago it was, just a couple, I think, but basically what happened is that a lot more of them were in that 250 to 300. Now that price range is just as low, if not lower than the under 250. So under 250, under 300, basically we're, under 75, 37 plus 29 is basically, where we're at. So basically when it comes down to it, there's less and less houses in that price point. But between 300 and 400, there were 128, 111 between 400 and 500, 177 between 500 and a million, and then 50 over a million. When you're looking at the list to ask price ratio, we're at 96.99 overall, which is down a little bit. It's 94.9 under 250, which they always usually need work. 96.9 from the 250 to 300. 97.68 from the 400 to 500. 98.3, 500 to 400 to 500. 300 to 400 was 97.68. Then 500 to a million, 98.15, and then over a million was 94.71. So it's kind of the way it is every other week, except I think there were more houses that sold over a million at that 94.71, so that's taking our figure down a little bit. When you're looking at the months of inventory that we have, overall we're at 2.83. 2.05 under 250, 2.56, 250 to 300, 2.22, 300 to 400, 2.82, 400 to 500, 3.26, 500 to a million, and 3.59 over a million. So, we're just looking at 1 week in regards to everything of what's going on and all of that kind of good stuff. The days to a contract is 49, and the days to close on average is 38. So that's what it comes to on the single-family homes. When you're talking about the condos, townhomes, and villas, there were 123 that sold last week, and there were 155 the week before. So my end of the month didn't work out on this particular week when it came to the condos, townhomes, and villas. The median price went up to 285, so that's kind of our new norm. But that's up 10% from the week before, so that's quite the increase. So we've been seeing them hovering closer to 300, over that 275 mark. So I think that's kind of our new normal for the condos, townhomes, and villas. The total, as I said, were 123. Under 250, there were 44. Then there were 25 between 250 and 300. 30 between 300 and 400, 16 between 400 and 500, 8 between 500 and a million, and none of them over a million sold. So there's 21 of them on the market, over a million. We're actually looking at 6 months of inventory when it comes to the condos, townhomes, and villas. So that's looking like it's starting to change into a buyer's market. It's not looking that way in the list to ask price yet, but that's kind of where we're at. Under 250, there are 5.89 months of inventory, 4.36 between 250 and 300, 6.4 between 300 and 400, 6.29 between 400 and 500, 9.17 between 500 and a million, and then we don't have any stats on the over a million because none of them sold. Basically, overall, we're at 97.23 list to ask ratio. Under 250 was at 96.42, 97.56 from 250 to 300, and then it's at 97.99, 98.59, and then the 500 to a million was at 94.69. So that kind of tells you the stats. So still a really good number of houses that are selling on a consistent basis, basically is what's happening and everything. So that's awesome in regards to what's going on. The prices are definitely going up. They're higher than they have been, with our median price was looking basically in the 425 or so range, and now we're up closer, inching up closer to that 500. So 450 I think is probably about where our median price is, but basically it is on the move a little bit. So the interest rates are staying similar, staying where they're at. So basically, if you are looking to get a home, now might be a really good time to get it before the prices go up too high. And, with some of our lenders, we do have that if the interest rates go down, they'll refinance it for you for free in the next, year or two. And so I don't remember exactly how long they give you, but they do give you quite a bit time to get that done. So I think that that's something that, you might want to look at when it comes to, purchasing a home and everything, that you might want to have that kind of stopgap that's available. So basically, when I was also looking out there, there was an article that came out this week that talked about millennials and Gen Z buy homes differently. Basically, the millennials were waiting longer to buy. They were starting at age 35, whereas the Generation Z buy homes started at age 25. And that's actually the age I bought my first property, so that sounds like it's in line with me. When they're looking at it, one of the largest hurdles to buying a home is the down payment. Millennials and Gen Zs are feeling this most are unable to save enough money for a down payment, according to a recent survey. Besides being too expensive, 34% say that saving for a down payment is their biggest barrier to buying a home. While most are using their savings towards the down payment, many are looking at other options, with 39% of Gen Z and millennials choosing to work a second job to afford their down payments. Family has also been a key source of funding, along with 36% of both generations expecting cash gifts for down payments on homes. So that's something that you can get, is cash down payments. And then in our market right now, you can get sellers that are contributing to closing costs. So if you've got that down payment, which if it's a conventional loan, it might be 3%. If it's a FHA, it's 3.5%. So basically, you're looking at, on a $400,000 house, that maybe you need between $12,000 and $15,000, to come up with for a down payment. And so it's not necessarily as much as you need. A lot of times when you're looking at going into a house, into an apartment or a rental property, if you need the first, last, and security deposit, you're over halfway there, many times, if not even further than that. So basically, the other thing that's happening in the millennials and the Gen Z is that there are a lot of people, 42% of them are purchasing a home alone instead of, purchasing with a spouse or something like that. Gen Z buyers were single, with 31% of them being female, and they're also willing to buy a home with someone who is not their partner, with 59% considering it as an option. So that might be something you want to look at as well. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online, centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So there was something that came out. It was an article, and it said, surprise property issues fuel buyer's remorse. And it's saying that a lot of people are unhappy with their home purchase, and we don't find that, frankly. And I think that that's the way that we work with buyers, that we make sure that it is the right property for them, that it matches their needs and everything, you know, as we're going through the process. And so we don't run up into that buyer's remorse. And then the other thing that we do is that we, you know, have that we do have our buyback guarantee. So if a buyer is unsatisfied with something that we found for them, you know, we'll either buy it back or sell it for free. So that definitely is something that sets us apart from a lot of other realtors. And we definitely know if our buyers are unhappy, and we definitely do everything we can to make sure that that's not going to happen. And the buyer's remorse, from the most part, from what they're saying on this article, is that people were distracted by fancy fixtures and finishes during their home tour, and they overlooked more serious problems. Now, I can see where this would be a problem if you didn't pay attention to those things, so we definitely do. And basically, there are things that you can do to make sure that you don't have this type of buyer's remorse. So it's not really that they didn't like the house. It's just that they had surprises in maintenance things when it came down to the bottom line. So our VIP buyers, one of the things that we offer them is that we offer them a home warranty, which means that if there are some of those maintenance issues that they weren't aware of, the home warranty is going to pay for the repair of those, which would obviously, you know, take a lot of the sting out of it and everything as well. And so basically that comes down to it. But one of the most important things that you can do as a buyer is that you can get an inspection. And we always encourage everyone to get a homeowner inspection, you know, before you go into the property, before you make up your mind completely, because it just makes sense. And I was talking to someone earlier this week, one of our agents who's new to the area. She's originally from New York, and she was saying that in their area, they've got a lot of people that, you know, had homes that they were investment homes, and now they're selling them. So the owner really doesn't have a clue, you know, maintenance-wise, what's going on with the property. And as a result of that, you know, when they do that seller's disclosure, that's absolutely what they're going to say, is that they don't have any knowledge of anything. And so a lot of people were going in there and they were buying these properties, you know, without inspections, and then they got a lot of surprises. So that wouldn't surprise me if that happened, if you didn't do your due diligence. And so you definitely need to make sure that you do that. And some things that you could do is you can ask about the maintenance costs, you know, for that particular property. Every property is going to be different, and every property is going to be, you know, what you what you expect and what you inspect and what you do. And so always asking those maintenance issues is not necessarily something that is going to give you a clue to that. Now, I think everybody in Central Florida knows that the best thing to do is to have a contract with an AC company, and they cost, you know, anywhere from $70 to $150 a year, that they come in and they inspect your AC a couple of times a year to avoid any of the major problems and that kind of thing. So, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, is going to happen. Obviously, if you're not in a community where your grass is cut, you're going to have to take care of the lawn and that kind of thing. So that might be something that you do yourself or that you hire out. But a lot of the everyday maintenance, you know, when it comes to caulking, there might be a couple of times a year or something, or that you actually go through and you check those kinds of things to see, you know, what you need to do. And it's saying check on the high use items. Well, that's obviously in our area are going to be maybe the AC, maybe some of the sockets that might have high use or the switches and that kind of thing. But again, if you're getting a home inspection, all of those things are going to be pointed out to you before you purchase the property. So kind of, where you're at. And finding out the age of items is something that you need to know too. Around here, we're all very conscious of roofs and how old they are and what the implications and everything are of that, just because of the of everything that's going on in insurance here. You definitely want to have the newest roof that you can have, number one, but also, that it's been maintained well, which a lot of times there's not a lot of maintenance, but if it's a tile roof, have they fixed those cracked tiles when they have them, and do they have extra ones laying around, which most people do. The next thing that you want to do is watch for smells. And obviously, I think this is a really key, thing when you go into a house. A lot of times people are nose blind to their own houses, that you might have a smell from a pet, or maybe there was some water damage and you didn't realize that it didn't all get dried up the way that it should have. I was talking to somebody else this week and they were telling me they're in a rental, and they said that there's probably mold in there because when you close the door in the master bathroom, that you can and then you open it up later, you can definitely have a strange smell. So they think that that's out there, and their landlord doesn't want to do anything about it. So they're, just considering what they want to do and trying to figure that out. But definitely smells can be a clue to something that you want to check on. The next thing is checks on the house's orientation. So the way that the sun may matter to some buyers. I know to some people it's really important that they want to have a south-facing or a west-facing back because they want that afternoon sun in their backyard. Some people don't care. But basically, a lot of times it's people coming in from another area that think that that's really important, that you're going to have extra heat in the afternoon, and most Floridians are like, it's okay not to have that extra heat in the afternoon, but people from other areas are very conscious of it, and so that might be something that you want to look, because that might have something to do with the heating and cooling costs. So a lot of times people will tint their windows a little bit to save on that as well. You want to look at vehicle accessibility. Is there room for your car in the garage? And is it available to accommodate multiple vehicles, if that's something that you want as well? Next thing is you want to check out beyond the property on Google Maps and how close it is to neighborhood amenities such as shops and gas stations. And most 80% of people want a house close to shopping as a quality of their dream home. So you want to definitely make sure that you're doing that. And then, they're also saying look at the structural integrity of a home. So a home inspector may recommend further inspections if they suspect any problems. I saw a house one time, and I remember where it was at and everything like that. And we were just walking around the house, and we actually saw the second story had a big gap as attached to the first story. So obviously there were some major structural problems, with that house, and the buyer ran away from it as fast as possible because it was something that wasn't going to work out for them. That wasn't something that they wanted to deal with. And so, a lot of times they're glaring and you can see them. Most of Central Florida, as you know, we're all on slabs. And so it's easier to see if there's some kind of a foundation problem. And we don't have the kinds of problems like people with basements and that kind of thing do. So we don't run into it as much. But if they didn't prepare the soil properly, then you might have some kind of a structural problem. And inspectors can usually see, hey, there's something going on here, and so you might want to get that checked out. But in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we will see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555, and we are more than happy to discuss the sale of your home. So again, call or text 407-566-2555. So one of the things that I saw today, which was actually very good, is that in Florida, we have 11 of the top 25 fastest growing cities in the U.S. So looking at those top 25 cities, number 1 is Phoenix. That's the first one. Number 2 is Miami. Number 3 is Boise, Idaho. Number 4 is Denver. Number 5 is Charleston, South Carolina. 6, Oklahoma City. 7 is Austin, Texas. 8 is Lakeland, Florida. 9 is York, Pennsylvania. 10 is Huntsville, Alabama. 11 is Brownsville, Texas. 12 is Fayetteville, Arkansas. 13 is Tampa, Florida. 14 is Naples, Florida. 15 is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. 16 is Sarasota, Florida. 17 is Orlando. 18 is Reno, Nevada. 19 is Baton Rouge. 20 is Ocala, Florida. 21 is Tallahassee. 22 is Daytona Beach. 23 is Port St. Lucie. 24 is Killeen, Texas. And 25 is Fort Myers. So we are growing, which obviously it's not too hard to tell that we're growing, because basically if you drive around anywhere, there is a lot of building and everything that is going on. So I think it's really important, basically for you to know that. And that's what's definitely keeping our prices higher. And as a buyer, you might be going, dang it, I wish that they were lower. But as a seller and as a real estate professional, I'm happy that they're not changing, that they're staying where they're at. And that's actually a really good thing, I think, for our market and for everything that's going on with the uncertainty that most people are feeling out there or thinking that is out there. The fact that we're growing is actually phenomenal. And so, like I said a few weeks ago, our prices have started to increase. They've gone up 5% year over year. And so basically, that's kind of what's happening, at the moment. And basically, it's a really good thing for our area. So what we're looking at is that we're 17th in all the cities in the U.S., but 11 of the 25 are in Florida. And so basically, what's going on is that we will continue to grow, hopefully. And that's always a really good thing. And so basically, when you're looking at that, it's I think it's a positive for both the buyers and the sellers. There are a lot of deals out there for the buyers. I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, but there's one builder that is actually doing a 10-day sale, and it actually started June 8th, which was just yesterday. And that 10-day sale is actually that they're doing 3.99% interest rate on a number of houses that are ready to go, and actually offering $50,000 off of the price. And so if that's something that you're interested in, please give us a call and let us know, and we will definitely help you with that. So it's a 10-day sale from the 8th to the 18th. And so, we've already started marketing that to a lot of our customers to let them know that if that is something that's of interest to you, that now might be the time to buy. And I looked at where these houses are, and they're all over Central Florida. So they're the north, south, east, and west. I think there were a couple of them in the middle, but in the middle, obviously, they're going to be a little higher price point than some of the others. One of my clients called me, and they were looking for 55 plus, and they had 55 plus as well. And so basically that's another thing that's, going on and everything out there. But it's a great situation, for everybody right now. If that's something that is of interest to you, that you're looking for a new build, with the interest rates hovering in the high 6s to 7s, having basically. So if you're interested in a new build, there are some sales. So I would suspect that for this specific builder, that it's something to do with the quarter, or it's something to do with their year end, that that they're offering these deals, that they just want to move some inventory that they've got. So $50,000 off the price, and then also 4% interest, 3.99. So I thought that was pretty awesome, and that's for the entire length of the loan. So more people can qualify for those homes. And so then with the response that I got from some of our clientele that we're working with, and that I had told them about this particular deal, they wanted to know what was going on in some 55 plus communities and that kind of thing. And I found one particular house that was being offered for $90,000 off of the price by a builder. So they said they didn't have any specific incentives, but they had $90,000 off the price. So basically when it comes down to it, if you are looking at new construction, I know you can go into those offices on your own, but I would strongly suggest that you work with us and have us actually, do it, because basically what we can do is we can pinpoint maybe deals for you that you're not going to find on your own, or it's going to take you a lot of time and you might just miss it. It might be maybe a couple of blocks off of where you were looking, but it might be a much better deal for you and your family, and maybe you still want to go with that other one. But making an informed decision and knowing that you've done your homework and that you've checked everything out exactly the way that you should, I think is really important and key and critical for all people. So basically, we love to help you when it comes to new home construction. There's a myth out there that it's going to cost you more money and you can negotiate something off of it if you don't use a realtor, and that's a complete myth. So we definitely, are out there for you to help you in whatever way that we can, to make sure that, we get you whatever we can when it comes to actually helping you with that new construction or selling your current house or whatever it is. And, basically there's a lot of people that like that new home construction. You're not going to have that buyer's remorse in regards to something wrong with the property, because new construction always comes with generally that year of bumper to bumper, I call it, where anything that goes wrong, they'll fix, and then they have 2 years on the mechanicals and usually 10 years on the structural. So, we're working with a lady right now that she's just like, oh, my warranty's out on my new home. So I just want to get something else because I like to have that new home warranty. And so if that's you, we're here to help you she's going to be selling her house, and she's really well maintained it. And, we actually have not put it on the market yet, but we also think that we've already got a buyer for it. So there's a lot of great things that are happening out there that if you're, whatever your needs are, we're here to help you. And so I always want to make sure that you definitely know that. When it comes to insurance, I like to always give a little bit of an insurance update. And basically, property insurance, people are cautiously optimistic that the Florida market, due in part to the 2022 legislative reforms and declining citizens' policies, because other insurers are coming in to take that. So that's great news for insurance, which, that's always something that we're looking at. I know that all of us have to shop our insurance pretty much on an annual basis. Last week I went through there were 9 companies that actually lowered the rates, and I think it was 10 companies that kept the rates the same. So basically, when it comes down to it, insurance news is good these days. As you guys also know, we're in the middle of our tax holiday, sales tax holiday for hurricane items. So remember that. But in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you could call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I wanted to talk, I think, the rest of the show kind of going over some things that go on outside of our homes and that kind of stuff. There are some smart home solutions for outdoor seasons, and if I finish talking earlier, then you know I'm going to come up with something else. But basically, from lawn and garden upgrades to mitigating package theft, there are some smart home solutions for homeowners' outdoor needs. First of all, you've got smart irrigations. So automatic sprinklers have been a staple in lawn maintenance, but the technological advancements have enhanced these systems significantly. So basically what they do is they connect to the local weather forecasts, and so they make sure that, and then they've got moisture sensors on them, that they're designed to optimize watering schedules and reduce water waste and therefore save money, which is always good. There are robot lawnmowers, which there's been the robot vacuum cleaners for a long time, and the pool cleaners. So the evolution of the lawn maintenance technologies brings to the robot lawnmower. It eagerly has been awaited for years. Despite having a modest size yard of about a third of an acre, mowing is the last thing that we might want to do. So basically, the trouble with most robotic nose mowers is installing boundary wires, invisible dog fences, and stuff like that. So many existing models act like old robot vacuums, making weird or random grass patterns, and they were also quite costly. So there's a new Works Landroid Vision that seeks to right the previous interaction deficiencies by employing GPS and an onboard camera to navigate and maintain the yard meticulously. It operates both day and night, equipped with a light, and it features sensors to avoid obstacles such as pets and toys. It also includes a theft deterrent alarm and requires a PIN for operation, making it potentially a potential asset for maintaining vacant property as well. So that's interesting. So that's Works Landroid Vision. Doesn't say the price on that, but that's there. And then smart grills are out there as well that that you can do that. So the smart grills, such as the new Weber Searwood pellet grills and the Summit Smart Grill line, were engineered to give owners more confidence when grilling. The Weber Connect is there to help them create perfectly cooked, delicious meals, and it includes features that allow for the overall temperature control, monitor food temperature, and cooking instructions. And then they send grill status notifications directly to a mobile device through the Weber Connect app. So that's pretty interesting as well. Outdoor security cameras, we're all aware of those. So they're crucial to selecting the right technology that provides both vigilance and convenience. So home security cameras like Reolink Argus Track and Duo 3 PoE offer advanced features that enhance your property's safety. They're known for their dual lens system and 4K resolution, so you can track what's going on. And then they have, both of them have dual lens and 180-degree field of view, while ensuring no corner is left unmonitored. So you've got those kinds of things. And then they have smart lock boxes for packages. So it's a combination box that you can open or whatever, so packages can be left and nobody's going to be able to steal them, from your property. So that's one thing that's good. Another thing that's out there when it comes to the landscaping is that landscape architects are moving away from the straight edges and borders and incorporating more plants and hardscape elements. So they're calling it entangled landscapes, and it softens outdoor design. So it's a new buzzword in landscaping design as outward trends move from clearly defined straight edges and borders. And so whether driven by an aesthetic request or a byproduct of maintaining on-site drainage, they're seeing increased interest in this trend. So basically, that might be something that you might want to look up to see what an entangled landscape is, so you could see the pictures of it and how everything goes, in regards to that. But basically, when you're looking at Central Florida and what's going on in real estate, as I mentioned early in the show, basically everything's very stable here. And somebody sent me something earlier this week that they said that they expect Central Florida to have a dip. Well, when with everything that shows that people are moving to this area, there's not enough housing as it is, and with the growth and everything that's going on, there's nothing that anybody needs to be concerned about. The number of properties that are selling is healthy in the last year or two since the interest rates went up to a normal rate. We had a below normal rate, and that created a lot of exponential growth. And probably, if anything, people are looking at it going, do I really want to give up this interest rate that I've got right now? Well, there might be a house out there that might have an FHA loan or something on it that you could inherit, and that might be something that you might want to do. We currently have a house on the market that has a 2.99 interest rate on about 50% of the value, and you can take over that loan. And there's another house that we're going to be bringing on the market in the next couple of weeks that's got a VA loan on it, that if you want to take that over, that also has in the threes interest rate on it, and it's going to be, again, about 50% of the value. So basically, you can get a second loan that would make your combined rate different or whatever. And with both of these properties, you're going to have to take over the whole you're going to have to put it into your name. And on the one with the VA, it's actually a property in Winter Park that I'll be talking more about later. But it's a 3-bedroom house with a pool, and it's got a VA loan on it. So if you're a veteran and you're looking for that kind of thing, just let us know, and we can get you early access and all that kind of stuff. They're just finishing up a few things that they want to do to make that house perfect when it goes on the market. They've done a lot of great things to it already by getting a new roof. It's got new windows. It's been completely painted throughout, and it's got granite in the kitchen. So everything in that house is pretty much ready to go. They've redone some of the bathrooms that really needed it. The other ones didn't need anything done to them, but basically it's a great property. It's in Winter Park, like I said, and probably going to be in about 450 range in that Tuscaloosa area. So if that's something that you're interested in, just give us a call, and we'll put you on the list to see it before anybody else does, or as we're putting it on the market there. So anyway, like I said earlier, though, we definitely love to work with both buyers and sellers to make sure that your needs are met, and that's what we're here for. We have lots of innovative and different programs that help people, and so that's really what we enjoy doing, is making people's lives easier, and that's what we do with every day, day in and day out. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we will see you next week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.